Let me share the slides also. Okay. So I'll start with the theory for the reduced order observer. Yesterday's class I discussed about the full order observer. In case of a full order observer, we try to observe all the states irrespective of whether some of the states are measured or not. So that's why it's called the full order observer. However, if some of the states are measured, then there is no point observing those states. So in that case, we can only observe the states which are not measured, which are called the reduced order observer. So in case of a reduced order observer, as I told you already, some of the state variables are accurately measured, so we are not measuring, we are not observing those state variables. So if there is a x is the number of states which is of n vector and output y is an m vector that can be measured, and if all the if y is basically the nothing but the measurement of m number of states, then we need to estimate only n minus m state variables. So in that case, the order of the reduced order observer will become n minus mth order observer. So let us see the theory. So let's say we have a system x dot is equal to ax plus bu and y is equal to cx, where x is order of the states is n and order of the measurement is 1. That means order of y is 1. So in this case, n minus 1 state variables to be estimated. Now, since one state variable is already measured, so I break the space of the state variable x to two subspaces. One is the xa, another is the xb. Xa is the measured state and xb is the unmeasured states. So in that case, this system equation, the state equations we can write as xa dot xb dot is equal to aa, aab, aba, abb, xa, xb plus ba, bb, u. So basically, I am decomposing the A and B accordingly for XA and XB. And Y will be 10 XA HB because XA is the states which I have measured and the XB are the states which are not measured. So Y will be 10 will be XA XB. That means Y will be equals to XA. So here XA will be a scalar because the order of Y is 1. So XA will be scalar and XB will be n by 1 vector. Okay. Now, once I decompose the state equations in terms of state measured and unmeasured state variables, then these equations I can write at xa dot is equal to aaa xa plus aab xb plus bau, which I can further write as xa dot minus aaa xa minus bau is equal to aab xb. I am writing this in this form because here this portion is known, whereas this portion is unknown. This portion is unknown because xb is unknown. And the equation for the unmeasured portion of the states is xb dot equals to aba xa plus abb xb plus bbu. Here also this and these are the known quantities, whereas this is the unknown quantities. So once I write the equation for the measured portion of the states and the unmeasured portion of the states, then if we compare the state and output equation for the full order observer and the reduced order observer, In case of a full order observer, we see that x dot is equal to ax plus bu and y is equal to cx. So in that case, and our observer full order observer equation is x bar dot is equal to ax bar plus bu plus ke y minus cx bar. Okay. Whereas in case of a state output equation for the reduced order observer is xp dot is equal to abb xb plus aba xa plus bbu, and xa dot minus aa xa minus bau is equal to aab xb. So equivalent to these two equations, I have this equation, these two equations. Okay, which means this is x dot is equal to ax plus bu, so xb dot is equal to a will be abb xb, and bu will be given by this term. Similarly for y, the y term will be given by this term, and cx will be given by this term. If it is so, then what will be the reduced order observer equation? So what we can do is we compare with the full order with the reduced order. Now for a full order state observer, it will be x bar will be xb bar, a will be abb. For a reduced order state, it will be abb. Bu will be given by aba xa plus bbu, and y is given by this expression xa dot minus aa xa minus bau, and c is given by aab. The ke will be n minus n vector matrix, n elements vector, where ke will be n minus n 1 elements vector, because one state is already measured. Okay, so this comparison basically comes from these equations, these two equations. I hope this is clear to you. If it is so, then based on this full order state observer equations, I can write this reduced order state observer equations. Then x hat dot will be a minus kec x hat plus bu minus key. This is basically the full order observer equation, which is basically we are getting from here. Okay. Here I am putting a minus kec within bracket multiplied by x bar plus bu. So same expression I am writing over here, full order of equations. Now from that, I substitute. Please mute your mic. Hello. You are. Okay. Let me continue. So now I substitute a by the state, substitute the equivalent state equation for the reduced order observer. Please mute your mic. This is creating problem for me. Okay. So what we'll do is basically we substitute. So here basically you can see A is will be substituted by ABB. So A will be substituted by ABB. K will remain same. C will be substituted by AAB. Then X we had BU will be substituted by ABA plus XA plus BB plus U. So the BU will be substituted by this term multiplied by KE, and Y will be substituted by xa dot minus aa xa minus bau. So y will be substituted by these expressions. Okay. So the reduced order state observer equations will become these. Now here you can see we have got xv hat dot as well as we have got xa dot. We have got xa dot. Now xa is measured quantity. So if you take the derivative of that measured quantity, you have to take the derivative of that measured quantity. So let us see how we can replace this derivative of this measured quantity. Okay. So what we can do is we can write all the derivative term on the left hand side. So xv hat dot minus ke xa dot is equal to these expressions, which we can simplify and get these expressions in this form. This I can further write as ABB KEAB XB minus KEY KEY. See now y is equal to XA. So since I have used here XB hat dot minus KE XA dot, okay, which is basically KEY dot. So I put here basically XB hat minus KEY or KE XA over here. And accordingly, I modify the equation. So I will get this ABB minus KEAB XB hat minus KEY plus within third bracket ABB minus KEAB multiplied by within bracket multiplied by KE plus ABA minus KEAA multiplied by Y. Then BB minus KEBA within bracket multiplied by U. These are basically modified to get the term XB hat minus KEY. Now I define XB minus KEY as eta, so that XB minus KEY, XB hat minus KEY is eta hat. So the state I define XB minus KEY as eta. So I define a new state which is eta, which is XB minus KEY. And the observed state for the eta is eta hat which is XB hat minus KEY or KEXA. So since y is already measured, so this is basically eta hat. So then the equations I can write eta hat dot is equal to ABB minus KEA minus KEAAB within bracket eta hat plus these terms, which I am not reading it over here again. Okay, so this basically is the reduced order observer. So this expression is basically the reduced order observer. Okay. Now, in this, the reduced order observer gain we have to find out. In this, basically, we have to find out the reduced order observer gain. Now, to find out the reduced order observer gain, we have to further modify the equations so that we can write in terms of error dynamics. Now we have XB dot is equal to ABB XB plus ABA XA plus BBU, which is basically AX plus BU. So XB hat dot will be ABB minus KEAB XB hat plus ABA XA plus BBU plus KEAB XB. Now if I subtract these two expressions over here, then I will get these expressions, which is nothing but ABB minus KEAB XB minus XB hat. So Now xb minus xb hat is nothing but the error. So I'll put E dot is equal to ABB minus KE in multiplied by E. Okay. So where E will be xp minus xp hat dot, which is again equals to eta minus eta hat. Because eta is given by these expressions. Eta and eta hat is given by this expression. So xp minus xp hat is equivalent to eta minus eta hat. So we have this error dynamics expression E dot is equal to ABP minus KEAB into E. And now it is easy for us to find out the values of K, KE by placing the eigenvalues of this matrix, placing the eigenvalues of the matrix in a desired locations. So the necessary conditions will be the error dynamics can be chosen provided the rank of the matrix AAB, AAB, ABB, ABB n minus 2 is n minus 1. Okay. This is basically the observability matrix. So here observability matrix will be, if you look at the C is given AAB and A is given ABB. So C transpose C, A into C and so on. So this is basically the observability matrix. The order should be to n minus 1 because the reduced order state equations is of having the n minus 1 states. So this will be the observability condition which has to be checked before finding out the reduced order observer gain. The characteristics equations will write Si minus ABB plus K into AB should be equated to the desired locations of the poles, which is mu1 to mu n minus 1. So S minus mu1, S minus mu2, S minus mu n minus 1. And from where I will get alpha 1 hat S n minus 2 alpha n minus 2 hat plus alpha n minus 1 hat equals to 0. So once we get that, then we can easily use the either Basgura formula or Ackermann's formula to calculate the KE. So the KE will be given by W hat NT n hat T inverse alpha n minus 1 hat minus A n minus 1 hat alpha n minus 2 hat minus A n minus 2 hat alpha 1 minus A1 hat. Where the n hat will be, which is the observability matrix, is the AAB transpose, AAB transpose, AAB transpose, and so on, which will be n by n minus 1, n minus 1 matrix. And the W matrix will be accordingly will be calculated, which is similar to what we have done in the case of the full order observer gain computation. Okay. So this will be calculated from the SI minus ABB. SI minus ABB. So this A1, A2 and AN minus 2. So these elements for the W hat will be calculated from SI minus ABB, the determinant of SI minus ABB, which will give you S to the power n minus 1, a polynomial in S of the order n minus 1. Similarly, we can use the Ackermann's formula. KE will be phi ABB will be these expressions, where the phi ABB will be calculated from the expressions given over here. So this is basically the reduced order observer gain computation and the design of the reduced order observer. The design is more or less similar to the full order observer, only the difference is for a reduced order observer, you have to formulate the reduced order state equations. So basic formulation is the formulation of the reduced order state equations. And when you do the reduced order state equation, then the reduced order observer are basically formulated in terms of this one. That means in terms of eta, so this is basically the reduced order observer. So for reduced order observer calculations, we are basically estimating eta, where eta is nothing but the xp minus key. So from the eta, then again we have to calculate the xb. From the eta, then again we have to calculate xb, because k and y is already known to us. Because k and y is already known to us. Y is the measurement, and k we compute from the Ackermann's formula or the Basgura formula. Okay, so this is basically the design of the reduced order observer. Okay, so this basically completes the observer design part. I discussed in the last class the full order observer, and in this class the reduced order observer. If you do not have any questions, then I can move forward to the implementation of the observer in the MATLAB Simulink environment. Do you have any questions? Aditya. Hello?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay. So let me unshare it and then share the MATLAB environment. Which basically I will initially let me just explain the So here basically what I will do is I will use a biochemical reactor to show the MATLAB implementation. The equations for the biochemical reactors are this one: dCB by dt is equal to mu minus Fd into Cb. I am not going into details of development of this reactor model. The equations, the details you will find in this book of process control by Wayne Beckett. So here basically we have got two dynamic equations, one for the biomass concentration, another for the substrate concentration. For biomass concentration, it is dCB by dt is equal to mu minus Fd into Cb. Fd is the dilution rate, this per hour, and dCs by dt FdCSF minus Cs minus mu into Cb by P. P is the yield. So, and mu, which is the basically governed with the rate kinetics. Here basically I have used the Monod equations for the mu. The data are given. Mu max will be 0.53, Km 0.12, yield 0.4, dilution rate at steady state is 0.3 per hour. CBS and CES steady state values are given, and CASF feed concentration of the substrate is 4 gram per liter. So based on this, we can linearize the reactor based on this x1, x2, and u, which is the deviation variables for the CB, CS, and u. Also, we require del mu by del CS. So this is the expression for the del mu by del CS at steady state, which I define as R, and then I calculate the A matrix, because now I will have the x dot is equal to AX plus BU, So the A will be given by this expression, elements of the A will be given by these expressions. And if we put these values over there, then I will get the A matrix of this form. Similarly, for B matrix, I will get these expressions. And if we put the values, I will get minus 1.5301, 3.8255. I will be measuring the substrate concentration. So C will be 0.1, D will be equals to 0. Okay. So I'll check the for observer design. The first step will be I will check the observer whether observability condition satisfies or not. So I create the observability matrix, which is CT, C transpose, A transpose, C transpose. I will get this express C transpose is 0.1. So I will get this elements of this observability matrix, and I'll find the rank is 2. So the system is observable. The next step is I find out characteristics equations. So Si minus A. From here I can find out what is the A1 and A2. So A1 is 2.564, A2 is 0.6792. I also find out the desired characteristics equations. I said that desired poles are located at minus mu12. At minus, so it will be S plus mu1 plus S plus mu2. So I will get S squared plus mu1 plus mu2 into S plus mu1 mu2, which will give me the alpha 1 is equal to mu1 plus mu2 and alpha 2 is equal to mu1 into mu2. So observer gain using Bascura method. I know the value of W. W will be A1110. NT I know the N matrix. I know the observability matrix. So N transpose will be this one. So I will find out the Ke from the Bascura formula. I will find out the Ke expression for the Ke. So I will get the expression for the Ke in terms of mu1, mu2. In a similar fashion, I will get the observer gain for the Ackermann's method. Phi A will be A square plus alpha 1A plus alpha 2I. So I will get these expressions. And then phi A I will get in terms of mu1 and mu2. And Ke I will find out from the Ke using Ackermann's formula, phi A C Ca inverse 0.1. So phi A expression is already known to us, and C Ca is this one. So I will get phi A into minus 1.33, 0, this vector I will get, and finally I will get these Ke expressions. Now if we put mu12 is equal to minus 4.45 and minus 0.3, then I will get this value. Now why I am putting this mu12 is equal to this value? So when I am designing the observer, the first step we have to check, what is the eigenvalue of the original system. That means where is the location of the poles of the open loop system. Okay. And based on that, then you have to find out the observer gain. Then based on that, you have to find out the observer gain. Okay, so now let's go to the MATLAB Simulink environment. Let me share the content. I think that unless I can you see the MATLAB window? One of you please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is basically the this one is the reactor. So this is the derivative term. This is the derivative term I have written over here. This is the derivative term I have written over here. Then I am integrating to get the CB and I am integrating to get the CS. This basically I am using for calculating the mu. This expression I am using for calculating of mu. Mu is equal to K max into U by CS by 0.12 plus CS. Okay. Input is the dilution rate, and the output is the CB and CS. So this is basically my reactor model. Okay. Now in this reactor, and here with this reactor model, we'll have the observer model. In the observer model, the observer equations is, if you remember the observer equation, which is x bar dot equals to what is the observer equation? Do you remember? Okay. Here all itself we can see that observer equation. We have written somewhere here. X bar is equal to AX bar plus BU plus KE Y minus CX. So this is basically the full order observer equations. Okay. So we'll implement these equations over here. So this is B, the input I am getting from here. So B into B, U into B. So this is BU term plus KE. I'm getting Y from here. I'm getting Y from here. Y minus CX. Y minus CX is basically this term. So Y minus CX multiplied by KE plus B into U. And X dot will be here AX. This is AX plus BU plus KE into Y minus CX. So, and then I am integrating this to get the X dot, and then I'm multiplying with C to get the Y. So I am getting, this is Y bar and this is I am getting Y. So Y bar minus Y will be these expressions. Okay. Here this reactor. So this is basically an observer designed based on the linearization of the nonlinear reactor. So here I am using a nonlinear reactor. So in this nonlinear reactor, the variables are the original variables. The variables are not in form of the deviation variables, but in the form of the original variables. Whereas this observer is designed based on the deviation variables. So in that case, so when I'm getting this Y, this CB, that has to be converted to a deviation variable. So that the original CB minus the steady state values of the CB will give you the deviation variable. So here basically I'm getting the deviation variable for the CB, and so this is basically Y, and this is I am getting Y bar. So Y minus Y bar, which is nothing but Y minus CX bar, is what I am getting here, which is multiplied with KE, and then it is added over here. So this portion is basically the observer portion. This portion is basically the observer portion. Okay. Now here also, when I am getting the states over here, I am also adding with the steady state value so that I can convert from the deviation variable to the original variables. And these are basically I am comparing, this is for the CB and this is for the CS. So let me run this thing. Sorry. So here you can see this yellow one is basically the original CV, and the blue one is the estimated CV. So more or less we have matched this for these cases. Okay. And for this one, here basically the CA is not measured, so I'm not giving CA as a feedback. I'm giving CV as the feedback. Let's see for the CV. So CV has given as a feedback. There are slight deviations over here. There are slight deviations over here because the observer is linear and the process is non-linear. Okay. So this is basically the observer design. We can increase the time and see whether it's still observing well or not. So all cases I will find it is all observing very well. Okay. Now in place of this, let us use a random signal. In place of this, let us use a random signal. This random signal I have taken. The mean is 0 and variance is 0.1. Okay. So if I have taken this one, then see for the CV response. See for the CV response. It is matching more or less. Most of the cases it is matching. Most of the cases it is matching for the CV response. And the CA response also you will see the most of the cases it is matching. But here you can see one thing, since the process condition is always dynamic, so there is some dynamic mismatch. So there are some dynamic mismatch in some places. But the trend is remaining same, and in most of the places it is observation is quite well. Okay, so this is basically the Simulink implementation of the observer. So what we can do is also we can design a controller over. We can design a controller over here. We can design a controller over here, and then we can. The controller will take the observed state. The controller will take the observed state, and then control the system. In that case, it will become an observer controller. In that case, it will become an observer controller. Okay. So this is in essence basically the Simulink implementation of the full order observer. Is there any questions on this?
Sir, can you explain the observer part once again? So that
in the Simulink?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the observer equation, you remember, x bar is equal to ax bar plus bu bar plus ke into y minus y bar, isn't it? Which is c into x bar.
Okay, sir. So there, here we have to use deviation variable. So you are doing that subtraction.
Yeah. So the observer is designed based on the deviation variables, whereas this reactor is basically done based on the original variables. Okay. So since we are doing using the original variables, so we have to convert to the deviation variables over here. So this basically this is y, this is CB, and this is y. Okay. Or deviation, which is a CBS minus CB or x2, which is basically the deviation variable for the CB. So this is basically x2 or y, which is and this will basically give you, this is y bar, this is y, and this is y bar. So y minus y bar will be given here, which will be multiplied with ke, and then will be added with b into u. So finally here basically you will have ax plus bu plus ke into y minus y bar. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this portion is the observer, and so when we are designing the controller for this system, this observed state we will be using for designing the controller. We will design the controller again offline using the Basgura formula, because we know the A and B, and from the Basgura formula we'll get the K, and then we'll use that K to design the controller. Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so I'm now stopping this presentation. If you have if you have any questions on this, I will answer. Otherwise, today I will end the class today. So this is all for the today, which I have discussed the reduced order observer equations and also the Simulink implementation of a observer problem for the biochemical reactors. What I will do is over here, I will give you an homework over this. I have given you the reduced order observer equations also. I have given you the reduced order observer equations also, the theory of the reduced order observer. So I will share this Simulink file with you. I share this Simulink file as well as the your PowerPoint file, which is basically contains the model for the biochemical reactor. And as a homework, you can design a reduced order observer. We have designed the full order observer. Now you can design a reduced order observer. You can design a reduced order observer and then find out the reduced order observer gain and implement here and see how is the performance. Okay. Another aspect is when we are designing this observer, we should keep in our mind the location of the observer poles, because when we are setting the desired poles of the observer, normally the desired pole of the observer will be 3 to 4 times faster. The location of the desired poles of the observer should be such that it should be 3 to 4 times faster than the controller. dynamics. So the observer dynamics should be 3 to 4 times faster than the controller dynamics. Since the controller is using the observed state, so that's why the observer dynamics has to be much faster than the controller dynamics. So when we are designing the observer, we first design the controller, we find out what is the controller dynamics, and then we design the observer so that the observer dynamics is 3 to 4 times higher than the controller dynamics. In some cases, in some nonlinear problems, this is true for normal all problems, but there are some nonlinear problems where you will find it is practically impossible to have a 3 to 4 times higher speed of response of observer dynamics. So in that case, the observer dynamic speed of response has to be reduced, and in some cases it will be equivalent to the or lesser than the controller dynamics. Specifically, when the measurement is noisy. When the measurement is noisy, then the performance of observer is getting deteriorated. So in that case, the observer dynamics has to be reduced to achieve the robustness. And in these situations, you will find the observer gain and the observer dynamics and the controller dynamics are basically competing with each other. So we have to reduce the controller dynamics. We have to reduce the controller dynamics subsequently so that the controller will get the observed state. Controller will get the observed state. Otherwise, if both the dynamics are equivalent, then there will be a problem of oscillations. So these are the design criteria that we have to keep in our mind. This is not a rocket science. Basically, if you keep in your mind that since I am observing a particular state and the controller is basically taking that observed state, so my observer dynamics has to be fast so that it reaches to the steady state before the controller takes that observed state. So these are the initial things which you have to keep in your mind. And obviously, when you are considering a noisy signals, the observer, to make a robust observer dynamics has to be reduced. Okay. So if you have any questions, I will answer. Otherwise, I will end this meeting today.
Sir, do we have the part from class test 1 in class test 2?
Class test 1.
Sir, the open loop and closed loop stability and all that.
But see, if you have to solve a control problem, those theories are required, but the emphasis will not be there. Emphasis will not be there. The class test 2 will be the portions which I have taught from after the class test 1. Okay, so the emphasis will be on that portions only. But in any case, see that this is a theory which is a continuous in nature, that when I'm designing a particular control system, some of the knowledge of your class test 1 may be required. Okay. Okay, then.
Will Simulink be a part of this examination?
Yes, hello?
Will Simulink be a part of this examination? Will we have to build something on Simulink?
The Simulink will be a part of your assignment, not your examination. Because your examination is for 1 hour or so. So
it's a lot.
It will be easy for you to build a Simulink model. So, but MATLAB, you can use MATLAB. In fact, in the examination also, you should not use the MATLAB command which will calculate the observer gain or the controller tuning parameter. So because in the MATLAB you will have the controller PID tune. So you should not use the PID tune to get that thing. You do your own home calculations, but inverse of a matrix or so on. So mathematical routines you can utilize MATLAB to get that. Okay, but when you require to calculate, when you have to apply the theory, you apply the theory. Do not use the MATLAB command to bypass that theory. Okay, like for example, I'm just giving you an example like this observer design. Observer gain, basically, let's say in the observer design, I have to find out the observer gain. So there is a MATLAB command to find out the observer gain using a Basgura method as well as the Ackermann's method. So the MATLAB commands, like for Ackermann's method, the MATLAB command is called ACKER, A-C-K-E-R. So I can use directly the command ACKER giving the A and B matrix and the desired location of the poles, and I'll get the K. But if I give a problem on this, then you should use the basic theory. You do the calculations by hand and do that. You should not use the ACKER in the MATLAB command and get the K values. Okay, so this is basically what I want. But you can do an inversion of the matrix or multiplication of the matrix. You can do basic mathematical operations using MATLAB. I hope this is clear to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm ending the meeting today, and the best of luck for the Saturday's class test. Okay. I'm ending the meeting if there is no other questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.